What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate, reverse ranch, no hate. So I have a question for everybody that like to use the term email champion. So many people roasted Devin Haney, which it didn't matter because it's just a bunch of opinions of people who are overlooking the fact that the boy can fight. And he made good of winning the titles. Okay. And the fact that Lomachenko didn't fight him at first and he gave his title up so he could become franchise champion. Okay. People say, oh, he did that so he can fight Teofimo. No, he didn't have to be franchise champion to fight Teofimo. Devin Haney was his mandatory. He wanted to be franchise champion. He let his belt go. What was the purpose of him not fighting Devin Haney, right? Okay. So, therefore, he was emailed his title, y'all like to say, right? Now, one of the people that was very vocal about it was Tank Davis, calling him an email champion, trying to discredit everything about him, and pretty much speaking as if though they were on two different levels. But basically, what Tank was more focused on was talking about who's more popular, and Tank said belts don't mean anything. He's another person that made that comment about, look at the numbers that him and Ryan did versus any of Haney's numbers, right? He said he don't care about the belts and he don't want that shit. He don't care about them. Because the question was asked about Devin Haney, like it seemed like nobody wants to fight him. Here is the first time you see a champion, he's calling out challenges because the challengers are not calling the champion out. That's what was said. Well, come to find out, now, Tank is now the new WBA email champion. So, I like Tank as a fighter, I like Haney as a fighter. But all of y'all that was calling Devin Haney an email champion, and when I'm seeing comments saying, yeah, yo, it's about time, yeah, man, yo, all right, now he champ, yo, he deserve it. Wait. How does anyone deserve to be an email champion? How? Because if Devin Haney is being seen as an email champion, he didn't earn it. So doesn't Tank supposed to move different and make good of his word and say, I don't want that shit. I don't care about them belts and all that, right? The belt that he's had all this time basically is nothing but a prop. It doesn't mean anything, right? So how could Devin Haney be an email champion and you try to discredit him? Yet now Tank all of a sudden is an email champion. But oh, it's about time, yo, he deserve it. Oh, okay, I get it. So we pick and choose who deserve a belt without fighting for it. So why Tank didn't say, hey, listen, I don't want it that way. Let me and whoever the number one contender is, or number two contender is, whatever, let us fight for the belt. I don't want it that way. Like I said, it does, listen, I'm not into this email champion, into this just handing people belts, but this is what this fucking boxing system is. It's like, boxing doesn't have structure to it, and it's too much of this nonsense going on. But what I'm going to say is, what you do with the belt after you get it, that's what really matters more. Because I see what is direct. I already see the direction that everything's going in. But I'm saying, y'all some hypocrites for sitting here bashing Devin Haney for that shit. But then y'all was just bashing Gervanta Ennis for the same thing. Y'all was just saying the same thing about, oh, Gervanta Ennis ain't fight nobody. They gave him the belt. Oh, but it's okay to give Tank one. And what I tell y'all, I don't go against Tank no matter who he fight. I want to see Tank win. Now, if he was to fight Devin Haney, may the best man win. It'll be one of those situations. I mean, there's always that situation regardless, but it's one of those situations where I really like both of them as fighters. You know what I'm saying? I can't say I like one more than the other as a fighter. But you can't say, you can't sit here and treat Haney like he's some fuck boy because he got a belt that he didn't fight for, when it's not his fault that, you know, he was the mandatory and Loma didn't want to fight him. That's why he got the belt. Nobody's ducking Tank. Nobody's ducking Tank. Tank has just been awarded a belt he didn't have to fight for. He's the most popular guy at 135. He's the best guy at 135. Okay, we're just going to give him the belt. I mean, you can't speak like you're against that. That's not the noble thing to do. That's not honorable. But because you like this fighter, oh, it's okay. None of this shit personally bothers me. I just look at the hypocrisy, how all of a sudden now it's cool to be an email champion if your name is Tank. But if your name is Devin Haney or Jerron Ennis, something's wrong with that shit. Same way how Tim Tszyu. He's another guy that people praised him. He got his belt the same way. So, it's okay for Tim Tszyu, same way. Wasn't nobody calling Tim Tszyu an email champion. So, like I said, let's pick and choose who it's okay to be an email champion versus who's not. It's nonsense, y'all. It's nonsense. I'm not mad at any of these people. I'm not a fan of this whole let's just give people belts. I'm not into that. I feel like they all should have to earn it. And in a situation where you're mandatory, like you are duck, you're mandatory, and the champion duck you and do like what Lomachenko did. I can understand in that situation because you were next in line and that champion abandoned the belt. That I can understand. What I don't understand, like I said, is why they gave it to Tank. No, I could assume why they gave it to him, but he's not in the position of, oh, I'm a mandatory and then I was ducked. No. He don't even want to fight Devin Haney. And Devin Haney obviously is campaigning at 140. He's not going back to 135. Tank isn't going to 140. If he was, why would he accept the belt at 135? So, yeah. Just saying, man, this is not really so much about, as far as Tank himself, yeah, he said one thing, but he did exactly what he criticized Devin Haney for doing. So, yeah, make that make sense. So, yes, Mr. Abdullah Wahid, Mr. Tank Davis is the new WBA email champion. Talk to me in the comment section, y'all. What y'all think about this? And this kind of stuff is going to continue to happen. And here's the crazy part. People don't feel a need to give explanations as to why. There's no real rhyme or reason why you should just be giving people belts. If somebody's stripped, and like I said, they're mandatory and the champion don't want to fight them, okay, I get it. You still could say number one versus number two. The next two in line, we're going to make them fight for the belt. That is what I would prefer to see, but I do understand the fact that, no, you were next in line, and now it's like, I'm ready. I want to fight. The champion doesn't want to fight. The champion gets stripped because he don't want to fight. Now they move the goalpost, and you have to fight for something that I'm next in line for that. So I do understand that. I get that. But let's not play this game like it's cool to just be going out handing belts to people. You don't have to work for nothing. And then for name's sake, let me do this. And see, what most people think is what I've been saying for the longest. I said this shit last year too. He's probably going to wind up fighting Isaac Cruz. There's really no reason for a rematch. And what they're going to try to use is because in that fight, I think that's in that fight, Tank, I don't remember if he broke his hand or not, but I know his hand was extremely swollen. And he was only pretty much using one hand the majority of the fight. Wasn't punching as much and was, moving a lot more. So he did have a legit injury in the fight, but you know how long ago that was? Nobody really cares about that. That's something when you have an immediate rematch because that person, held their own and made a better fight out of it than what people thought. But that's who he's probably going to end up fighting. Haney's not there at 140, but Shakur is. And instead of these guys going back and forth on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, or just making these goofy YouTube videos, just talking shit, and always trying to explain about something that happened 5 years ago in a fucking sparring match and all this goofy shit, just get in there and fight. That's all. Shit don't last forever. Tank's 29 now. Before you know it, I'm telling you, before you know it, y'all gonna be sitting there going, dang, 34 already? damn, 4 or 5 years went by that quick. I'm telling you, this shit just, before you know it. And, you know, these guys sit up like they got all the time in the world, man. Boxing is not long-term. When you look at how long somebody boxed versus how long they live, you realize, damn, it's a short career. But, yeah, that's your email champion. Never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth brings hate out of people, and I will catch y'all on the next video.